environmental. Oh, okay, sorry. Yes. So SDGs are one of the latest environmental agreements that are made between countries and the UN. So the basic thing is that you have to comprehend that SDGs is just a guideline, it's a target, it's a goal. And then, sorry. So to think about it basically, simply, is that to think that everything is connected to one another. So all these colors, all that we are interested at, maybe we're interested in architecture, maybe we're interested in art, maybe we're interested in an environment, everything is connected to each other. So, and what we have to think about is also that everything has a cycle. So we have to think that everything is connected and everything goes in a cycle. It always repeats. So these are the, can you see all my screens, or just, is some parts of the screen blocked?
No, it's fine.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I think maybe you're already aware of these 17 points. So these are the goals that we as the human race on Earth have decided that these are the points that we need to keep our Earth sustainable. So what can we do? I'm trying to divide this presentation in three parts, which is architects and their working environments, architects with other architects. The second is architecture as the product of that environment. And then at last is how the real environment responds to architecture. Why do I divide it into these three parts? Is because that right now, the current product of architecture is starting from architects. You're now at that part, maybe the students, you're building up your knowledge. And then later when you're working, you're getting to know your company culture. So, and then later you will create architecture, which also have other parts that comes into work. You will work with other people, with clients, with contractors, and then you have to figure out the logistics. You have to figure out the regulations of the local area, and then the site analysis itself. Is it good for this material? Is it good for this shape and all that stuff? And then lastly, there's the users and the environment. And then there you can see how the user's lifestyle and behavior and also can communicate, can engage with the architecture that you have created. And then lastly, we can see how the architecture that you've made have impacts onto the social, economic, and the environmental conditions around it. So usually it's like this. You study architecture, you create architecture, and then you just let it free, go wild to the world. And then you don't think about it anymore. So this is what industry, the general industry is used to be as well. So usually they will create your phones, your smartphones, they will create it, they will sell it, and then when you're using it, and then it got broken, if you dropped it somewhere or something else happens, and then you cannot use it anymore, and then it's done, you just throw it away, and then you don't think about it. But now we have a new way of thinking. We have to think more in a loop, in a cycle. So what I want to say is, like before, when I was talking about SDGs, SDGs invites us to think about in a more cyclical way, in a loop, so that everything will come back to us again. It will not just vanish into the air. You cannot just send it out to space and have your problems go away. So what I'm asking you to think is that okay, now you're studying architecture. And then later when you're working, you have your company culture that will decide how you act, how you grow, how you decide things. And then later you will meet other people and then you will create architecture. And then when it's done, the users and the environment will engage with it. And then you have to think about it again. So you have to ask feedback. You have to see how are they interacting with each other. Are they interacting in a good way or in a bad way? Is this something that you have expected, that you have predicted or not? And from those feedbacks, you can improve your knowledge and maybe also improve your company culture. So in that way, we can create more like improved architecture. We can create better architecture. And then we will have better impacts on the environment, on the users as well. So this is why I feel seeing architecture through SDGs is a good way, even though it may not really have a real impact towards your design. Okay, so the Royal Institute of British Architects have published their opinion and also their policy and principle about SDGs. So they're saying that there are 4 overarching issues here. And mostly they are talking about the architect's environment, the environment with other architects. So here is the list of what architects can do. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's about equality. It's about human rights. It's about labor laws, and it's about the environment. It's about being a good business, in a sense. So what can you do as now you're still students is that you can just explore and gain all the knowledge you need about sustainable building solutions. And then later you can recommend them to your clients, to your coworkers, to your boss, etc. So this is what we can do as architects in the architecture environment. So now we're going to the second part of this presentation, which is what are the architecture? So architecture in itself is very wide, I feel like. But how can you push a regular project to serve more than its original function? So this is a good example. This is a renovation project of a residential building built in the 50s in France. And they are renovating it to be used by lower and middle income groups, and then also for migrants from conflicted areas, from conflicted countries. So by doing this in a very cheap way, they are serving their purpose of aiming towards no poverty and the sustainable development goals. And then they also create a sustainable city and communities. Those are just the 2 sustainable development goals that we are seeing right now. Maybe it's serving more than 2. So, and then there's this next other example, which is the Rwanda Institute for Conservation Agriculture. And this is morely a landscape architecture project, and it serves a lot of purpose. So this project, I really like this project because it has a deep research behind it. It grows local plants and also reserves the local environment. And you can see that outside of this project site is very barren. So they're trying to make the land productive again. So you can see that by doing this, by being considerate of the local geographical conditions, of the local potential of everything, they are serving many goals here. They are trying to combat the the hunger issues. So they're trying to create more food. And then there's the affordable and clean energy. They are off grid, and also they are trying to do responsible consumption and production because they're using low carbon sourcing. They're using 96 materials sourced in Rwanda, and they are 100% off-site. They are built with local investments. They are hiring and training people from inside Rwanda. And also they're improving life on land, as you can see, very beautifully. And then the next project I want to share with you is this hospital in Nepal. They are also using renewable energies, and also they are using ram earth because this town is very remote. It is very far from Kathmandu, where the production is, and also it's very far from other cities in neighboring countries. So you have to go by car 10 hours or by flight. So it's very remote. So the architects propose that they can just use material sources and also make the hospital complex feel like a village. So the people living there don't feel alienated. So they're also serving its purpose of sustainable cities and communities, and also good health and well-being, because apparently in Nepal and these remote areas, they have the doctor to patients to doctor to residents ratio is 1 to 150,000 or something like that. So this is quite a good improvement in that project. And then there's this design that I really like. This is a South Harbor School in Denmark. I like this idea because it's in the middle of the city, it's in Copenhagen. And then on the ground floor, it can be used as a community center area. So it's a multi-function building. So on the weekdays, when it's used as a school, the public is not allowed, obviously, for safety reasons. But then afterwards and on the weekends, it's open for the public. So people can experience together, they can learn together. So this is a good project to show how quality education is good for the city, it's good for us. And this is also using affordable and clean energy on the rooftops, as you can see over there. And also it has a deck that is looking over the channel. So the kids can interact with the water and see how life is a cycle, how life is connected to each other. And lastly, this is a project in Cameroon that I really like because it's about a village that has scarcity of water. So on the right, you can see that this is a water catching tower. So they're using local materials as well, and also local knowledge and also local craftsmanship. And then by doing all that local things, they are also providing clean water and sanitation, and also affordable and clean energy. So maybe not all projects are that ideal. Maybe we cannot have the opportunities that they have to have good clients who have good intentions to achieve these goals. Maybe the contractors are too busy doing other stuff. So maybe we can only achieve these three goals, maybe. Or maybe we can push it, maybe. We can push it to do more. Maybe we can put in some gardens here and there. Maybe we can do some rainwater harvesting here and there. And then maybe we can use materials that are found in the local area that is usable for the construction. So we can push things if we want to. So I'm saying that architecture depends. It depends on you. It depends on the people who are you're working with. It can also be like this. You can push it to provide life below water, life on land, and provide an economic growth. So seeing through the SDGs, we can see that all of this will not matter unless for number 7. So if you have partnership, if you are able to engage with your partners, your clients, your contractors, everyone you're involved in a project, then you can achieve more goals, maybe. Even if you only achieve one goal, that's good enough. But at least you can invite people to also achieve these goals. So, and this is said by the Royal Danish Institute. They said the main goal of SDGs is just leave no one behind. It's just leave no one behind. So if you're just thinking of making a mall and you're making assumptions that the users will be, they will be like mid-20s, they will love these designs, this design. No, you have to think about everyone. You have to think about all the age groups. And then you have to think about the contractors. Is this easy for them? Is this achievable? Everything. So by leaving no one behind, I would want to go to the third part of my my thought train over here. That is, how is the real environment reacting towards our design? How is the feedback of your built design? Is the environment impacted? How did the people respond? So maybe we will have like great feedbacks, or maybe like just, well, there's some positive, there's some negative, but it's okay for a building, something like that. But what we want to avoid is something like this. Do you know what this building is? So yeah, maybe you've seen this building before, or maybe you've just heard about the news. So this is the news. This is death race skyscraper wreaking havoc on London. So this building was famous because it melted a few cars in London.
Oh my God.
Yes, so the building has a concave facade. Was it a concave or I don't know, but it's like curved in a way that the sunlight.
Yeah, it's like collecting the heat from the sun.
Yes, it's collecting the heat from the sun and then melting a Ferrari, I guess. There's some news that says it's a Ferrari, but maybe it's some other car. So if the feedback is this bad, you will definitely learn from it, right? You will definitely not make the same mistakes again. So from this example, you can see that the environment is very negatively impacted. And then the people responded very negatively as well. But what about this project? This is one of the projects that was mentioned in the the Danish Academy of Architecture, the Royal Danish Academy. And they said this is one of the example for no poverty, I think, goals. But when I looked up on other articles about this project, apparently this project is very poorly perceived by the critic of who wrote this article here, and also by the people. So it says that it fails to deliver. it fails to deliver what the people wanted, because the architects who made this, Tatiana Bilbao, they did a huge research. They asked the residents. They did a lot of stuff to collect what the people wanted. One of the things that the people wanted is they want a house that looked finished, because this is a project done to an area that was impacted by flood and also by a tornado, I think, or some natural disaster, something like that. So it is wide scale, and also it is very fast. So you have to build it fast, and also people need to move in fast. It's a disaster mitigation project. But apparently many people don't like the building design. They feel it looks unfinished, and the windows on the corner windows, that they look not safe. Being in Mexico, it's a safety hazard because people can break in, and not good for security. And also the fences, the short fences, it may look nice to us because we don't know the context of Mexico. But apparently the locals said that the fences are not doing a good job, so they need to build more fences. So the locals, the residents, have many protests about this design. So if you're thinking about this negatively, maybe you'll be depressed, maybe you'll be sad because your design didn't get a good feedback. But what we can do is we can think of it as side products, right? Just think of your design as the product, and the impacts are side products. So in a cyclical loop, in a circular loop of business models like IKEA and Uniqlo or other companies and businesses that have gone to the circular economy, they're thinking of everything that is a waste, considered initially a waste, as a side product. So they will collect things. Maybe in IKEA, they will collect your old couches, they will collect your old things, and then they will recycle them. So what we can do as architects in this sustainable way of thinking is that thinking that these side products, these feedbacks, are to our benefit, are our assets. What can we do for that? So this is one of the example. This is the Sahara Forest Project. So this project is meant to just make the desert become a productive land so they can feed the people. I think this is in Qatar, I think. And I think there's in some other countries as well. So what they first wanted to do is they just want fresh water. So they want to desalinate or to just create fresh water from the seawater. So they pumped the seawater to the grills, and then the wind will pass through it, and then seawater will trickle down. And when the wind passes through it, the wind cools down because it picks up moisture. So inside the building, it will be cool and humid, and then plants need less water to grow because it's humid. And then the excess humidity is then condensed to be used as fresh water. So now they have a side product, which is fresh water. And then the demineralized fresh water is used for the concentrated solar power. And then they have another side product from these solar powers, because below the solar power panels, there are the solar power mirrors, there are shade, and then plants can grow there. And then from the desalination of the seawater, they have salt from the evaporation as well. And then the salt they can use as a lightweight building block. And then there are other minerals that can also be extracted from the seawater. So this is their way of thinking. They were just thinking of one thing, and then they figured out, oh, there's this other thing that comes up with our design. what can we do with this? And then they improve. And then it goes on and on and on. So this is a very ideal project. Again, this is a very ideal example. Maybe that's just what the architects are telling us to be inspired of, right? But what we can do if we cannot like improve our design or something else, we can spread awareness. So this is one of the events in Kitakyushu. Kitakyushu was known as one of the most polluted cities in Japan because it was one of the biggest factories of Japan in the 50s and the 40s. Yes, so until the 60s, there was a protest going on to deal with the horrible condition of the environment. So since then, they have tried to improve themselves. So it's okay to make mistakes. I'm not saying that you have to worry about everything. I'm just saying that it's okay to make mistakes, but then later on you can spread awareness about how you can improve, how you did your mistake and how you can improve. So this is an event in Kitakyushu City. It is to teach elementary school kids about sustainable development goals. I know this is a very advanced issue or topic for them, but as you can see here, that they have quite the imagination. They're just thinking of like, oh, what do I envision my future to be when I'm an adult, when I'm in charge of the town, when I'm in charge of the policies. They're drawing animals still living on Earth, hopefully. And then they're drawing like blue seas and all that stuff. Some kids even draw like microplastics. I don't know what that means, but I think it's just like getting to him some way. So this is a good way of using what you've learned to better the world, to help us reach a sustainable world. And then there's also a good way of learning to improving is to explore alternatives, which is most of what my fellow students here are doing. They're researching on sustainable materials. They're researching on efficient energy use, innovation in the construction method, the quality of life improvement. How do we improve on it? And then how to learn from biomimicry, from learning what nature has to offer. Why is nature always evolving? And why are we not as smart as nature? So, and then also low carbon as a priority. But for myself, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. The text shouldn't be there. So for me, I'm learning about vernacular architecture, as Professor Didit has said before. So I'm researching on Labuan Bajo and its vernacular architecture. I'm exploring how they are adapting to tourism coming into their turf, to impacting their lifestyle. They have changing lifestyles. We all know that. All of us are changing in different ways. But for them, it's a very fast improvement. They were once living in bamboo houses, living their life to the fullest, and then suddenly tourism comes, and then they have to adapt. Oh, there's this good opportunity to improve ourselves, to improve our lives, to improve the quality of life that we have right here. But how they are adapting to it is what I want to learn, because I feel like this fast-paced change needs to be recorded, and also their choices that they're making needs to be recorded, because maybe there's something that we can learn, that we can apply to a wider scale in Indonesia to achieve a more sustainable Indonesia. Maybe right now we're not being sustainable because we're still looking to other places. We're still building with concrete. we're still building with other materials that are not locally sourced. And Labuan Bajo is also doing that. They are importing material from Java. They are importing everything from other places, and they're not living in a sustainable way. So how are they reacting to it, and how can that be improved is what I'm researching about. So that is my presentation for today. So what you can take from this presentation is that everything is connected, everything is in a cycle. You have to think in a cyclical way and also leave no one behind. So these are my references, and thank you.
Okay. Applause, everyone. Thank you so much, Athina. I think you give a lot of example of how we can include the SDGs things to our design, or in other hand, we can evaluate other people design by these SDGs. I think even these SDGs, I think it's still new. Yeah. It's still about 5 years ago or 7 years ago. I don't know, but it's quite new, I think. And then the people, I don't know, the people in Indonesia or right now, maybe in the university level, we know about this. Like we have a SDGs class for every week. Like, yeah, we invite the speaker from outside to talk about the environment and anything, but I'm not sure. You give a good example of how Japanese trying to campaign, right? Campaign the SDGs also for the local people. That is, the children made some drawings. I think it's a good example. And actually, this is exactly same with their assignment. Actually, this class assignment, the third assignment is talking about how the student can find example of case that can buildings of or community or cities or area that can represent the trying to solve the SDGs problem, right? The students, how do you think?
Yeah, so these are my references if you want to see. Yeah. And the Royal Danish, the Danish Association of Architects, they have a really good booklet or anything, whatever you call it. And it has everything that you want to think of. It lists 17 points. They have at least 5 examples for each points of SDGs. So I think it's easy to see the good things in the examples around us. And I think with the spread of knowledge of technology as well, I think more people are doing good things. I feel like. And there's also an example in Indonesia. I think it's in Sumatra, in Kerinci, something like that. Yeah, so yeah, I'm optimistic for the future as well.
Okay. So students, any comments or question or maybe some concern about today's presentation? Please. Anyone is okay. So Athina is far away from Japan to meet you today, right?
Yeah. So, in Surabaya right now.
Yeah. She also have, oh, okay. Sukma, how about you, Sukma, please?
Thank you for the opportunity. Please introduce myself. My name is Sukma, and I would like to ask a question. So as in right now, I choose SDG goal number 2, which is zero hunger. But as we all know, right now, the soils, freshwater, oceans, and forests, they are rapidly degrading due to our climate change. So how do we, as an architecture student, make a sustainable built environment to secure food supplies regarding the encountering the climate change? Thank you.
So I think that is mostly this example. This is a very good example because this is an institute for our agriculture. I think by teaching more people about how to have sustainable farming, I think it's a good start. And also by learning your local plants, your local geographical conditions, I think it's a very good way to start your project. So if you are being given the opportunity to make a farming area or to solve number 2, zero hunger. So first of all, you would like to see what the local area is like before the degradation, what local plants are there to sustain the environment, and now it's no longer there, something like that. Maybe you can ask people, you can ask the elderly about how they understand the nature, because usually the elderly, they're more in tune with nature. Usually they are more aware of these tiny plants that us modern people, we're so stuck up with our screens, we don't really understand the difference between this plant and this plant. So I feel like if you want to do a successful project, you have to, about zero hunger, you have to first revitalize the environment, the site that you are given. And by doing that, you will improve the soil condition, the water condition, the air condition. And then later on, you can continue to solving the hunger problems, the the stock problems of the production. Yes, I hope that quite answers your question. Is that good enough?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sukma. So I think many of us is still really thinking about, you know, as maybe the architectural student or as a professional architecture, think about the building itself, you know, like we always been teaching to make a building, you know, like make a building, make a something that follows the people lifestyle, people needs, the function, anything. But sometimes we forgot about the whole environment that we, you know, the built environment itself. The built environment is not always about the building. It's not always about, you know, the structure, the concrete, okay,
the design,
the land, the design, but the whole environment. I think it's a good point here. Every time we make a building, we also thinking about the surrounding, how the people can plant a tree, or thinking about the labor, thinking about the economic, have an impact to zero hunger. I think it's something that we have to include into our design right now. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, so if you're interested about how deep they research about this environment in Rwanda, you can look it up. I think their website or something like that. I mean, they have a lot of data online about the research they've done to make this project happen. And as you can see, I think it's no longer fashionable to design a quirky building. I think it's just a matter of serving its purpose and also reaching a sustainable goal. As you can see here, the building looks quite regular, right? It's just squares, it has windows, It has roofs. Maybe the roofs are rainwater harvesting roofs, but that's all. Because
yeah, but it's nice. It's well
yeah,
designed.
yes, it's well designed. So I feel like we can go back to the human scale and just say that, okay, at least at the human scale, it's a very nice design. And then think about other aspects, because yeah, I think it's no longer in trend to create weird things, because we know that it only serves as a selfie area, maybe. And maybe not a lot of project is given that opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, any other question from students? Please. Comments about the object of the building, maybe? Cindy? Any comments, Cindy?
I'm still trying to arranging the words, sir.
Indonesian is okay.
Yeah. Indonesian
you're cheating,
is okay.
but you're cheating in this class if you speak Indonesian.
You can use Google Translate.
No problem.
No.
She's Indonesian. Don't worry.
Perhaps I would like to ask. First of all, my name is Cindy Carolina, and I want to ask regarding the. So there are sometimes I found cases like occasions when the clients, when we want to design a building, they don't prioritize environment for when it comes to design the building. So I think it's one of the most common issues when it comes to working with clients, or perhaps engineers for architects. So perhaps if you have an experience about it, would you tell us, or maybe there's an example, would you tell us about, elaborate more about it? I think that's sort of my question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your question. So, yeah, it's a very real situation. It's very possible, especially in Indonesia, maybe because we have limited budgets. Not everyone is given the opportunity to have what the tech people say, angel investor. Maybe we're thinking of angel clients or something like that. So it does happen. We, for most part of my architect experience, I worked at a consultant that was just traveling around Indonesia, but just making ATM cubicles become up to date with their standards. So it's a very pragmatic thing. So maybe if you go to the ATM in Indonesia, you can see like all the design looks the same, right? But it doesn't happen in the rural area. The rural area ATM maybe were built in the 80s or 90s or something. Maybe not the 80s, but yeah, you get what I mean. So we're just making it look current, look like it's same it as the big cities are. And it's not really environmental friendly, obviously. We're just like, just toss it around, just buy new things, ship things from other places and all that stuff. But that happens. And well, that's life actually. So what we can do is we can learn how to change the client's minds. So if the clients are thinking about money, maybe we can twist around. Maybe we can recommend them that there are ways to make your banks look up to the current standard, but also using local materials, maybe. Or maybe you can convince other people, other projects to do a more sustainably friendly way. So it's all onto you as well. So maybe the clients will be hard. Okay, then maybe we can do other things that at least clean our conscience for a bit. You get what I'm saying? So maybe you are not given the opportunity to implement the things that you want, but you can make it as a learning curve, because you cannot always do ideal things. You can always learn from what you need to do right now. I think that's what I can say about it. What do you think about it, Professor Didi?
How about that, Cindy? Yeah, it's quite yeah, it's quite difficult questions, you know, like we are as a academic world, in the academic world, we're always talking about, you know, a lot of theory, a lot of example, a lot of like you know yeah, theoretical thing, you know, but practically in the field, in the real world, we are facing the people that really don't care about the environment. I don't care, you cut the tree, I don't care, I just need to build my new house or my new building, my shopping malls, you know. I need the money.
Fast and quick and
yeah,
cheap.
the faster, the quicker,
fast,
cheaper, like Athina example on maybe Labuan Bajo. She has a concern about how people change too fast, you know, because of the modernization. I don't know, maybe in some parts they think that modernization is make a building with a brick, right, with the concrete structure, not go back to the local architecture, right? So I think it's our responsibility as architects from now on. That is why in this class, in other class, we always talk about the environment, right? And then you can educate people from that, because if not you, so who will, right?
yes,
in the future. So if not environmentalist architect who take the project, who will, right? You let the government know, they have no time about designing, you know, designing local context. I don't know, Cindy, it's quite difficult, but we can take a part. I think we can we have to make a participation on educating the clients. That's what I say, maybe.
I agree. So so that kind of comes back to the number 17.
Yeah, number 17, right?
Right, the partnership for the goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to invite other people. We have to convince other people. So that's why it's daunting to be an architect. You have to be smooth with your words. You have to be smart. You have to think about a lot of things. So yeah, thank you for your questions.
Yeah. Any other questions? Of course, welcome. How about? Oh, thank you. How about Sabrina? Any comments, Sabrina?
Maybe I want to ask some questions.
Yep.
I've seen some project. I think it's from Shaw Architect. They were making like performing arts building in Jakarta, and I think the designs are very like sustainable, very environmental friendly. And then I see it that it got revised by the government. Like they change it, they cut the budget and all. And what can we do as an architect? Is there any other solution that is for us architects that are trying to build some sustainable building without relying much on the government policies?
Okay, thank you for your question. So again, I think it comes back to working together, partnership for the goal. I think because one of our friend did it, Professor did it, and my friend is she's currently working at the government, and apparently they're also thinking about the sustainable development. So don't fret, because not all government officials are bad decision makers. So we have some hope, because more and more people are now having the knowledge of how to make the environment we have a better place, how to improve our environment, how to improve the world, improve the designs, improve the flow of architecture, how it is done. So all we can do is take it one step at a time. And maybe if you are worried about the government not doing their job well, maybe you can be in the government and make things right for yourself, right? Because all we can do is just try our best. Because if we think about, oh, other people won't let me do this, other people won't let me do that, well, then make your own way. Do what you think is needed, and then, well, take it a step at a time. I think that's my question, my answer.
Go, Sabrina. Be a major, maybe. Be city major from where are you now, Sabrina? Surabaya?
I'm in Sidoarjo, Pak.
Sidoarjo, okay. Major of Sidoarjo, Sabrina.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, when I was doing one of my projects in South Sulawesi, we one of our project was in a region that was that had a very good major. I mean, a very good, how do you say, bupati? Bupati as well.
Bupati.
Yeah, just bupati. We all know what a bupati is. So yeah, that the bupati of that region was very good. That when you travel through the region, you will just drive through a very dry area, dry fields, dry paddy fields. But once you cross into their region, his region, it's green. The paddy fields are well irrigated. Everyone's happy. Everybody is like pleased with his service. And that's one of the real things that anyone can do. If you want to do small things, you can start from your environment, your own environment, and then maybe you can go to the next level, and then to the next level. So maybe from now, maybe you can start from your home. You can start maybe implementing the things that you want to see in the world in your home. And maybe your neighbors will ask, like, oh, Sabrina, what is this thing that you're doing? It looks like you're having a better environment than my yard over here. What are you doing? And you can just spread awareness little by little. So that, I think people just don't know yet that we can achieve these steps with cheap budgets as well. We just have to do more things, maybe more things are just learning new stuff. So that is kind of what is difficult, I think, in adulthood, because we're so caught up in doing all these things. We have to do this, we have to do this, that. We have to pay for this and that, and this and that. And then we forgot how it is to learn a new thing, to implement a new way of thinking.
Yeah.
I hope that kind of answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. You know, it's kind of complicated if we working together with the government, you know. At least there's some connection, you know, like maybe Sabrina in the future will become, you know, PNS pegawai negeri sipil on the city or anywhere. And then that time, please remember about this class, okay? I don't know. I don't know. Many there's 11 of you. Maybe one of you will become. I don't know. But you know, when there's a people inside the governmental, it will helpful for the other professional to do their job. You know.
Yes, I agree.
I know it's not the era of connection, but as long as we do it, we follow the rule. I think it's still in a good manner. I think. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Please. Comments, discussion, anything? So, how about I ask maybe some personal things, Athina, like it's like you are quite an international girl, you know, like you're born on the US, and at that time you said that you have a grandmother in Hawaii, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
You travel around the world, and then right now you are studying in Japan, and any change in your like your not only your perspective, but your you know, like your characters, like you're following, you do you feel like you become more environmental, or you know, like you want to contribute something to the environment? Any change in your life about that? I don't know, maybe it's like a random question, but maybe you can share with us.
Okay, I'll try to answer. So when I was living in Indonesia, I was usually just angry because the conditions were not ideal. Because in Bandung, I worked in Bandung for quite a few years. And I lived with my friends. Like the four of us, we rented a house together. And I don't really like to order food delivery because I don't like to waste. Usually I will go to a restaurant, maybe I will bring my own lunchbox and get it inside and then go back. And that is because my friends really like to order delivery because it's very cheap and convenient, right? You don't have to think of what to cook, and you don't have to go shopping for groceries. Yeah, go with Jack.
Go food.
Like the thing that we really miss in Japan, the convenience of it all, right?
Sometimes we need that.
Yeah. But in Japan, it's very expensive. So you really have to think about doing delivery. And so, yeah, in Indonesia, it's very cheap. It's very practical. So the trash can in my house is very quick to fill up. And it's just like disgusting to see a lot of garbage in a short amount of time just piling up. And then also, I think when I was in high school, we have a photo shoot for the yearbook. And we just wanted a quirky idea. Okay, let's just do exercises or like do sporty shoots, but in weird places. So we did it in the landfills. So we went to a local landfill, which is disgusting because it's just a huge pile of trash, and then people just living there with their babies, their infants, just crawling around on trash. And then also, I was like squatting down, posing, because it's just a yearbook. And then apparently something is crawling up to me, and it's a maggot. And I'm like, wow, the living condition we have right here. And also the pace of consumption is very, I don't know, it's unimaginable. It's kind of disconnected from us, right? Because we don't see it every day. So when I was in Indonesia, I was enraged, and I was just trying to reduce my plastic waste, every kind of waste. I tried like washable pads, and then the metal straws. I know that's not also good for the environment, but I use the metal straws. I use my lunchbox. I bring my own meal, all that stuff. But I thought in Japan it would be easier for me to go plastic free. Oh boy, I was wrong. Everything here is wrapped in a plastic bag, right? A banana wrapped in a plastic bag, an apple wrapped in a plastic bag, cucumbers, plastic bag, everything. So in Indonesia, in perspective, I feel like it's easier for us to just go to the local market and just buy things like that, to just go with your shopping bag and just get them. But here, it's kind of difficult. You have to go to the farmer's market. It's quite far. It's not as convenient as the supermarket. While in Indonesia, it's the other way around because the supermarket is more expensive, right? We just go to the local traditional market. It's more cheaper. So in Indonesia, it's cheaper to be more sustainable as well compared to Japan.
But what things that inspired you to become like now? I mean, not all people like aware about this, using a plastic bag or anything. Anything that inspired you? Like,
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it was and it's, I don't know. Maybe I just I think that first of all I have asthma. So when I was in the States, I was born in Colorado, so it was very high up in the mountains, and I was allergic to the cold. I was allergic to some pollens, so I had troubles there, but it was all just natural troubles. But when I was in Jakarta, it was kind of hard for me because there's pollution. It's another problem, but it's also not as natural as in the States. So I had to go to the beach every week just to get like high salinity air to just clear up my lungs. And I think maybe because I spend so much time in nature, so I can see some impacts that we are getting. I think I went to beaches a lot, and I can see trash floating around because I live in Jakarta, so the only beach I have is just Ancol, which is not ideal. It's only, it has a lot of trash, so I always feel bothered by it. And also when I was little, I think there are a lot of cartoons that give insight about how deforesting is bad. Did you see those cartoons? I don't know. It's called Fern Gully. It's about like fairies living in the forest, and then they're trying to fight deforestation by the mining companies, I think. Something like that. I think my attachment to nature is one of my push factors here.
Yeah, because sometimes we really not aware about the situation. If we, for example, if we live long in Indonesia, like we're born in Indonesia and big in Indonesia, and we didn't see other countries do, like what happened in outside the world, like is that really dangerous? Is that really important to do like this? And it's hard to get inspired, I think, you know.
Maybe, but maybe one of the things that also impacted my way of thinking is that I was raised in Jakarta. And I didn't have any like kampung to go for Lebaran or something.
You don't have kampung.
Yeah, so I think that made me wonder, like, is this life? Like, is this what people is supposed to feel like, to live in Jakarta with concrete and asphalt and all that stuff. I don't think that's a natural way to live, being stuck in cars, in traffic jams. I don't think that's a good way to live. So I'm always like trying to find out what is wrong with everything. I think.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Any other questions? Please. You turn. Oh, Bunufi, please.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Pak Didit for
it's just my experiment.
A very good speaker today. I would like to say that your concluding remarks that you are trying to find a way to question everything. That's good because I think I did it too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a very difficult world. I think the world that we live in today. And at first, I just want to make a normative remarks on your lecture today, but it changed because you say a very good words that connected us, that begin with questioning everything, that it's supposed not to be like that, and ended up with wisdom, I think. What I want to ask you, Ibu Athina, in a very young age, I don't say that I'm old, but in a very young age, questioning everything in your position is a rare condition because you live in a luxury, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Not every Indonesian lives in your blessed way. I would say that, maybe we are nurturing in the same kind of family, but in the end, we're questioning everything. I just want to, not make a comparison, but in a very young age, you did that. I think I applaud that because it's not easy to do that.
Yeah.
Because in a way, what makes you think in that way?
Okay, so this will go way, way back when I was very little. And I really did question everything. I don't know why, and I don't know how my parents survived that phase. Because my mother will just read me a book. She will read me maybe Pinocchio. And then she will say, so Geppetto wanted a real boy. And I said, why, mommy? Well, yeah, because he didn't have a real boy. But why, mommy? And all these questions just keep coming. But yeah, so my mom will get frustrated, obviously, as a mother will do. She's tired, she's out of her mind, like she just wants me to go to sleep, right? But yeah, I don't know how, because I think my dad kind of liked that challenge. I think my dad kind of likes being questioned. So yeah.
Please pass my regards to your parents.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Thank you for inviting Bu Athina. It's a very fruitful discussion.
Yeah.
At first, I thought that it will be a very normative SDGs clauses, but in the end, I realized that you give us more. Thank you, Panidit and Bu Athina.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't even know the PowerPoint, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what she prepared. I said in the beginning, it's kind of difficult relationship when we live abroad with other Indonesian. Like sometimes we are family, sometimes we are friends, sometimes we become a teacher and student and senior and junior, like that. It's multiple relationship, and I would like to maybe ask of my colleagues, my friends to exchange the experience, because seeing other people experience can be very inspiring, maybe. I don't know. How do you think, Hisham?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. You should say it. I agree, sir.
Any comments, Hisham?
Maybe I want to ask about some response.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I want to ask your response, maybe like how do you respond to an alternative energy? In this case, like solar panels, that is still quite expensive for us to use it. Should we just use it, or maybe there is some other technologies that we can use? Because I think current situation, if we use like a solar panels, it takes a lot of money, maybe I think. So that's all.
Okay. Thank you for your question. I feel like solar panels in Indonesia is quite tricky as well. So at first it's expensive, and then second, the high salinity of our air is kind of makes it requires a lot more maintenance than we want to. So it's more money later because the rust will get to the things, and also apparently some manufacturers only allow their experts to do maintenance, so that's more expensive. So I feel like if you want to develop an Indonesian solar panel, I think that's a good idea, Hisham. So maybe you can find a solar panel that works in hot and humid areas like Surabaya, where it's very close to the sea and has high salinity, but it can work as well because Surabaya is very hot, right? So I think that's one option. You can try and make your own technology. Maybe not in the near future, but maybe you're fast enough, maybe you're smart enough to make it in 5 years. I don't know, maybe. But there are other options to optimize or to utilize the solar radiation. I've heard of algae panels. Do you know what algae is? Like what's in Indonesia? Ganggang hijau. I think, yeah, ganggang hijau, right? So they produce oxygen. They're phytoplanktons, right? They produce oxygen. I think I'm kind of fuzzy on the details, but my friend, she's working with a professor at ITB, and they're trying to make a building in ITB, in Bandung's ITB, to utilize the solar radiation to change it into oxygen, which then will create energy. So solar panel is not the only option. You can try looking up algae panels for utilizing the solar radiation. Yeah, I'm very into alternative energy, and I'm always angry about like why Indonesia is still using the conventional technologies, because we have a lot of potentials. We have geothermal potential. We have we have a lot of geothermal potential. We have maybe some water, the micro turbines and all that stuff, but we just don't want to explore them, I think, or just not yet. Maybe soon.
Yeah, a lot of things to do.
Okay. Yes, we got a lot of things to do, so that's good. It will keep us busy, right?
Thank you, Hisham. Is that okay? Any other comments? We still have maybe 10 minutes before we finish the class. So it's kind of interesting if we have a longer discussion than the PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
How about Fania? Any other? There's Fania here. Fariza, how about you, Fariza? Also Fari here. Nadia. Shabira. Naufal. Where are you, Naufal?
It's very early in Indonesia.
I don't think so. You know, Indonesia, even it's look early, 7 a.m., right? But the sun is already bright enough, I think.
I know.
You know, like everyone wake up at 5. So, wow, so anytime I back to Indonesia, it's like it will automatically open my eyes and oh, it's morning already. It's like we have azan, we have you know, azan subuh, we have you know, bike sound. PD. And if you live in Jakarta or a big city like Surabaya, there will be like someone selling something, you know, roti. It's totally different with Japan, you know. Even 9 a.m. it's still people like lazy to wake up, I think.
I think they're already waking up, but they're just busy in their own houses, and it's not as packed or like lively on the streets like in Indonesia. Yeah, I think that was one of the hard things moving here, is to adjust to the silence. Like everything's so silent. People keep to themselves. In Indonesia, you can just hear like tukang sate going around and about. Yeah, it's always busy in Indonesia, but here people tend to do their own businesses in secret.
Okay, then. Thank you so much. If there's no question or discussion, then maybe we can close this session. Thank you so much, Athina. Again, let's have applause.
Thank you so much for having me.
Athina,
for the discussion.
I'm so sorry that I led you to do the PowerPoint very, you know, like, do you want to give a presentation to my student? Like 1 week before. Okay. And it's I didn't choose people who teach already, you know, like I have many friends teaching in other university or have experience on teaching, but it's kind of, it's not so interesting if we ask other teacher to teach in our class. Maybe I will ask like an ordinary student, maybe in the future he want to become a teacher. I don't know, Athina, but I try to let Athina to know the PhD word. Maybe you will take your doctorate after this and you do research, and maybe in the future, I don't know, maybe education is the one very effective way to spread this knowledge, you know, to become the environmentalist architect or designer, you know, like education is the way that I choose actually, but I don't know other people, but of course we can inspire people by education, you know. Like for example, yeah, we have 10 people in this 10 or 11 people in this class, and then I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 of or half of you will become a teacher in the future, or I don't know, maybe you can continue to inspire the other people, right?
Or be in the government.
Or be in the government, yeah, that's the important to fix our government. Yeah,
to change.
Yeah, to change. Okay, thank you so much for everyone also, and maybe last we take a picture together maybe? Yeah,
Yes,
Indonesian
yes,
way.
Indonesian way.
What is Indonesian way of taking picture, Pak Didin?
It's just taking a picture. We don't do that in Japan.
Yeah, you know, recently when I moved to ITS, you know, I work in ITS like a lot of meeting every day, almost like we spend more than 8 hours in front of Zoom, like, and when finish, we take a picture.
Yeah, it's the Indonesian way. After a meeting, you have to take a picture.
Okay, anyone? Let's take a picture together. 1, 2. Hold on. Okay, buddy, on. Anyone?
Ooh, more faces.
Okay, Nadia, it's okay. Fariza, Naufal, Rafi, is that okay? You don't have camera?
Yeah, I don't have camera.
Okay. Okay, let me take 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Okay. Thank you so much, Athina, once again. See you another day. Maybe if you want to contact Athina for, you know, like how to get scholarship in Japan or anything about, you know, study or how to do some, you know, some idealist thing. I don't know. You can contact her actually. So we hope we keep up in touch this relation, like maybe in the future you become a lecturer and one of our students will teach your student maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Athina. So thank you everyone. I will close this session and don't forget, last, I have announcement. Let me share the screen. For the next week, we have a guest, right? This is Athina's professor.
Yeah.
But I asked him, Yasweda, he went to, you know, this East Beach. They found that LSM Jepang temukan sampah kasur in Surabaya, maybe, yeah. It's Surabaya, Jawa, Surabaya. His name is Yuji Yasweda. He's an environment activist, and right now is very active on doing the mangrove in Surabaya. Actually, don't forget the time. We may start earlier because I have to translate, maybe because he speak in Japanese, I think. So we need more time then today. Okay, 10 June, 7 a.m. And to be honest, I don't know what she would like to present, what he would like to present. It is his picture with the ITS lecture. I don't know. Maybe he's from environment or engineering. I don't know. But this is Yasuda-san. So please don't be late and be active on the lecture next week. Okay, thank you everyone. I will close this session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye. See you next.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye all.
Thank you, Pak. Thank you, Bu.
Thank you.